Jalen Brunson did indeed take the lesser contract. He is signing a 4-year, $156.5 million contract extension with the New York Knicks. Brunson forgoes the potential $113 million extra he could have secured by waiting for a 5-year, $270 million deal in free agency next year. You thought he would wait until the next offseason to sign that massive contract. Instead, you put me on the spot on Tuesday's show and told me if I were to choose between him waiting or signing it on Friday, what would I rather do? I said I think he'd sign it because he's a team player. You thought the other way. You thought he'd go and get the bag. So I would like to know, what is your reaction to Brunson saying, you know what? Let's go with this contract instead.
I'm a little surprised. It doesn't happen very often. It's only happened a couple of other times in the NBA. Tom Brady used to do it with the Patriots so that they could be under the salary cap and retain good players. And I think Brunson's taken a page out of Brady's playbook strategy on that and accepting a little less money. But if you look at the deal, and I guess I should have looked at it a little closer before I said that I didn't think he'd take it, he has that 4th-year player option, right? That's a big chip for him. And so he can actually sign. It sets him up for a $323 million deal in 2028 or a $418 million deal in 29. Now, he's going to be a lot older then, so he may be well past his prime by then. But this only costs him $37 million over the next 3 years, and he's risking $113 million in total to get to that 4th-year player option and sign that $323 million deal, which will recoup all of the $113 million that he's risking right now, and he's really out of pocket, only sacrificing $37 million. So when you look at it that way, it doesn't look like such a bad deal. It gives him, it lets him realize his goal of maximizing his prime years with a deep roster. I mean, you look at their roster, it looks pretty good right now, except I think they're a little soft at center. They avoided the second apron with him taking the smaller deal, which means that trades and signing players and signing draft picks is a lot easier and much harder for teams that are in over the second apron. He was all top 5. He was a top 5 in the MVP voting this past year in all NBA, 28.7 points per game, 11 40-point games. He had 40 points and 5 assists in 4 straight playoff games this year. The Knicks have already done a lot in the offseason here. They re-signed Anunoby, 5 years, $212.5 million, and they signed Mikal Bridges, bringing him over to add a 4th player from the Villanova championship team that Brunson played on. He has $48 million left to go on his contract. I think Brunson, as you mentioned, he's a team player. He's also views the Knicks as family. Leon Rose was his agent before he became the Knicks president. His dad is an assistant coach. He likes Tom Thibodeau. So I thought he would wait and take the bigger deal next year. But this way, if he gets hurt, then he knows he's got $156 million that he'll be paid, and he knows that he has that 4th-year player option. He will play this next year on his old contract, though, which is like $24 million, I think.
Not chump change whatsoever.
No, not chump change. I note that LeBron also accepted a lesser deal.
Well, it was by like $2 million.
$2.6 million. Wow, he really sacrificed a lot for the Lakers to avoid the second apron. Thank you, LeBron. Well, so that's how I feel about it.
That's Pelinka with bad contracts.
I think really diving deep into the deal, you can understand why he did it. It has some real pluses for him, but he needs to stay healthy. He needs to stay healthy and play at a high level for the next 3 years. So he has a good incentive to do that because that 4th year, he gets that option and he can get that much bigger deal.
Well, I thought that Jalen Brunson, and I even listened to what I said on Tuesday when I talked about Jalen Brunson's commitment, and he's a team player. This is the definition of playing for the team. Now, the NBA, there aren't many team-friendly deals to go around because everybody wants to get their own, which more power to you. Like I said on Tuesday's show, I said, is Jalen Brunson completely worth the $269 million, $270 million that he would have gotten probably next offseason if the Knicks were to extend him? Absolutely. That's what I said on Tuesday. I still believe it. But this move shows that Jalen Brunson actually cares not only about making a decent amount of money, but also about winning. Because this move of taking $113 million less allows them to potentially sign another top-tier player, most likely a big man, whether it's power forward or center. It allows them to get another big-time player and increase their chances of winning. So it's not Mitch Robinson, and then your backup is a rookie. Now, their draft picks may actually end up being pretty nice. However, I wouldn't I wouldn't put all my cards to the table on a rookie excelling. Now, the NFL always does this. The big-time players who are smart and care about winning Super Bowls, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, they take less because they realize that getting the most amount of money, as much as you possibly can get, generally does not bode well for winning Super Bowls. Now, Mahomes is the outlier. He could be one of the highest-paid guys and still win a Super Bowl because he's that incredibly talented. Jalen Brunson's taking a unique approach in the NBA because it's really unheard of for top-tier superstars to get anything less than the max when it's available. And Jalen Brunson had that opportunity. If he would have waited this offseason and signed it next season, he would have gotten his $270 over 5 years and would have been happy. When he came to the Knicks, since coming to the Knicks, because on the Mavericks, he was the number 2 option, and obviously, he went 9.3 points, 8.2 points, and then finally 12 and 16 points a game during his 4 years with the Dallas Mavericks. And then all of a sudden, I think the rumor was they were $1 million away, the Mavericks were, and they wouldn't give Brunson that $1 million. Well, that was a massive mistake, because since joining the Knicks, Jalen Brunson's averaged 26.5 points a game, 51% from 2, and 40% from 3. Boy, wouldn't Luka Doncic love to have another score when Kyrie Irving goes up against the Celtics and completely is a shadow of himself? Wouldn't he like another score? Now, he got Klay Thompson, but the last time we saw Klay Thompson, he went 0 for 10 in an elimination game. Don't exactly believe that that's your true answer, and also his defensive ability completely fell apart after his injuries. But this opens an entire door to expanding the Knicks, making the Knicks a now prominent name, making them serious, legitimate title contenders because you have that much more money to spend. You have that much more wiggle room in order not to be taxed so much and have so many penalties going your way. The thing that I also want to preface is, this opens up the door for an extension of Julius Randle if he wants one, Mikal Bridges if he wants one, because next year, Julius Randle has a player option for $30.1 million. I guarantee you he's not going to accept it. He's not going to whatsoever. And now Mikal Bridges actually is signed for 2025-26, but is a free agent in 26 and 27, as is Mitchell Robinson, who's going to make about $13 million, not this upcoming season, but the season after. So this allows you to keep signing big men. Now, reportedly, the Knicks are interested in a couple people. The first one would be Jalen Duren from the Detroit Pistons. Also, Walker Kessler from the Utah Jazz. And just because the name's out there and there's a chance that they don't get an extension done, Şengün of the Rockets, he's also available. I think the best option out of all three of these guys is probably Duren out of the Pistons, because he is he's a 13 points, 11 rebound guy. You mix him up with Mitch Robinson off the bench. Whoever decides to start, I'm not sure who you would want to start. By the way, all these guys, including Kessler, gives you better points than Mitchell Robinson. So it depends on what lineup you want to go with. Do you want to go mainly offense? Do you want to go defense? It really depends. But the Knicks now have the ability to expand their team even more. They're already one of the top title odds makers already.
I'm not so sure.
They are. They're a top 5 team right now.
Top 5 maybe, but I think they need the big guy. I think they really need a big man. I think losing if they've been able to do all this and have Isaiah Hartenstein back, I'd say they were a very top contender. They would be more of a top contender than I view them right now. They need to go out and get that guy from the Pistons. Maybe. I mean, that guy he's a double-digit scorer and a double-digit rebounder. That's what they got to have. They got to have somebody who can score a little bit, because the other teams, the other elite teams, have all got they've got a big man who is elite. They look at the Philadelphia 76ers. They've got Embiid. You look at the Celtics. They've got Porzingis. Right? You look at the Bucks. They have Giannis. You look at even the Lakers. They have
Anthony Davis.
Anthony Davis. So, there's some elite big men out there.
Jokic.
Jokic, the biggest name of the bigs. And I think that's the kind of guy the Knicks have got to get, somebody that's credible in the 5 slot and the 5 position. And right now, I don't think they've got it.
Well, no, I'm not saying Mitch Robinson's anywhere close there. He doesn't put up the offensive production, yet complains about his offensive production, and he's not an offensive guy. So how can you complain about your offensive touches when you're not an offensive guy? I'm not entirely sure. Is he a good offensive rebounder? Absolutely. Does he play good defense and really is one of the only ones who can go true one-on-one against Embiid? Yeah. But I think sometimes he's a bit slow vertically. So if you're slow vertically, people are going to just blow by you, move around you, and that's something that the Knicks need. They need a Hartenstein, which currently they don't have. So if you can get a big man, which I think they should only be focusing on, they got a bunch of guards in the draft. They got a couple guys who are 6'9", 7 feet tall. If you can focus on the big man in free agency or through a trade or anything like that, sign him to a big extension, massive deal, keep this core together. Yeah, they're top 5 right now. Currently, they're 5th in the title odds. I think, and they're only plus 100 away from the 76ers. If you get another big man, add to your bench, or replace Mitch as the starter, why can't you move up to at least above the
76ers, maybe.
Above the 76ers, and hell, I don't know why that this website has plus 850 above plus 800. Not entirely sure, but that would be the Nuggets in number 3.
They're going to be hard to pass, I think.
I don't think so. I think the
they
Nuggets
have the
are going to be
Celtics
very
ranked
disappointing.
first. The Celtics ranked first.
It's Celtics, Thunder, Nuggets, Sixers, Knicks.
Thunder.
Yes. Thunder made some massive moves. Got Hartenstein, got Alex Caruso. They're going to be a very, very good team, especially in a dominating West.
I'd still put the Nuggets ahead of them.
Nah, not for me. Lost too many pieces. But this just shows some players, some very smart players, care more about the team and their success over a big paycheck. Because, as you pointed out, if he waits till 2028, it's a little over $320 million. If he waits until 2029, $413 million. So, and Paul George just got a big extension too, and he's, 34 years old?
Yeah.
Jalen Brunson will be in sort
27. He's 27 right now.
Right. So if Jalen Brunson just walks that tightrope again.
5 years from now, it'll be
32 years old.
32. He should still be in line for a decent payday, yeah.
And think about it. We saw him be a number 2 and be like, okay, this guy's a good number 2. He comes on to the Knicks, is like, whoa, this is who the Mavericks gave up? And then,
he likes the limelight. He likes Madison Square Garden. He plays well.
The Mecca of basketball.
Yeah. Sometimes I think he may dribble a little bit too much, but...
Sometimes he has to.
Yeah.
Sometimes he has to. But look, this just proves that, and I said this on Tuesday, the Knicks did themselves 2 favors. They did themselves a favor by getting a 20-point scorer in Mikal Bridges and also a very good defender. And they allowed Jalen Brunson to be happy, and I think allowed this opportunity to actually come into fruition because you got another one of his buddies, one of his best friends.
They won a national championship.
Exactly. So they did themselves 2 services there by giving Jalen Brunson one of his best friends, as well as getting themselves a very good wing defender and a 20-point-a-night scorer, which in turn takes a bunch of the weight off Brunson, who, by the way, played his 3rd straight 70-game season. So durability, I think, is pretty fine right now. He only, fractured his hand, broke his hand in Game 7 of round 2 against the Pacers.
Plenty of time to heal.
Exactly. But think about it. We go this entire time, and there's one massive injury at a really unfortunate time when the entire Knicks roster was just depleted entirely. Yeah. So if you add a Mikal Bridges, allow him to take the load off of Brunson, why can't his production increase? Because there's less weight on him. People aren't double-teaming him literally from the inbounds pass. Gabe Vincent tried to do that a couple of years ago and really.
If they can stay healthy, they have decent depth too.
Yeah.
Right? They'll have DiVincenzo probably coming off the bench.
DiVincenzo, Hart's coming off the bench. Deuce McBride's coming off the bench too. they were up to Deuce McBride being their primary scorer off the bench. That can't happen, especially in the playoffs. Yes, he had a couple nice games, but you cannot let Deuce McBride be your primary scorer off the bench.
Got to keep Anunoby healthy.
That's another big thing. Keep Anunoby happy, which historically throughout his career, he's missed several games, dozens of games over his career per season. So if they can keep him healthy, which then again could happen with Bridges getting more attention, OG can focus more on defense than scoring. I mean, I'm saying the Knicks can compete for a title this season, regardless of who they have as a center.
You think they'll go get a center before this season? Yeah, they're going to have to.
I think they should. There's a question of how much do they want to pursue it. Now that they have Brunson extended, a lot of the contracts don't fall on top of each other. They don't need to deal with Bridges, Randall, and Brunson all within a year or two of each other. It allows you, okay, we have this situation handled. Let's focus on the next one instead of having to deal with three in a very, very short amount of time. So the Knicks making massive moves, and I think they're the right moves.
And you called it correct.
I did call it correct. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, if you want to check out the full episode, make sure you click the I in the top right-hand corner right now. If you want to listen to this show anywhere you go, make sure you go to anchor.fm/The Harvey Hour or anywhere you get your podcasts.